Every time you step out to relax on the porch, it immediately flies directly at your face. It aggressively holds its position just 3 inches from your nose, hovering with an intimidating, loud buzz that demands your attention. You swing your arm wildly, trying to knock the heavy black insect out of the air before it can sting you. You retreat back to the door, frustrated and slightly panicked, tightly gripping a rolled-up newspaper as a makeshift weapon. Stop. The carpenter bee you are desperately swatting at is the male of the species, and he possesses absolutely no stinger. The female, who's the only one equipped with a stinger, is the bee you almost rarely see, because she is currently deep inside the wood of your house, quietly excavating her nest. Swatting the aggressive male achieves absolutely nothing for your safety, and disturbs the fragile ecosystem around your porch structure completely unnecessarily. When you kill the male, you are removing a harmless biological deterrent without addressing the actual structural damage occurring silently within the timber. The female continues to bore into your fascia boards unbothered, while you waste energy fighting a buzzing phantom that cannot physically harm you. Your swatting is a misguided reaction to a brilliant natural bluff. You trade a momentary sense of victory for a continued, hidden deterioration of your property's wooden framework. Understanding the difference between the loud guard and the silent worker is the only way to protect both yourself and your home. You're dealing with Xylocopa virginica, a remarkably large and robust insect measuring 3/4 of an inch to a full inch in length. At first glance, it closely resembles a common bumblebee, but it features a very shiny, completely hairless black abdomen, whereas bumblebees are uniformly fuzzy from head to tail. The physical differences between the sexes are highly distinct and crucial to identify. The males possess a bright, highly visible yellow face, while the females have a solid black face. It is the female alone who causes the property damage. She uses her strong mandibles to bore a perfectly circular, half-inch entrance hole directly into the wood. Once inside, she meticulously turns exactly 90 degrees and begins excavating a smooth tunnel parallel to the wood grain. This hidden gallery can easily extend 4 to 6 inches in a single season, creating a safe chamber to lay her eggs. The longer she is left undisturbed, the more extensive the labyrinth becomes, slowly hollowing out the structural integrity of the timber from the inside out. Identifying the yellow-faced male hovering outside tells you exactly what the black-faced female is doing on the inside. These bees are solitary, meaning they do not form large colonies with thousands of workers like honeybees. Each individual female operates as a single mother, entirely responsible for constructing her own nest and foraging for her own offspring. The perfectly round holes they leave behind are often mistaken for drill marks made by a carpenter's tool, demonstrating the sheer mechanical power of their jaws. The male carpenter bee is a master of pure biological theater. He possesses absolutely no venom gland and lacks a stinger entirely. The structure we commonly call a stinger is actually an ovipositor, a highly modified egg-laying organ that only the females of the species possess. The male's aggressive hovering and high-speed charging is strictly a territorial display. He uses this tactic to intimidate other rival males and to frighten away large moving objects, like you, that he perceives as potential threats to the nesting area. He has absolutely no mechanism to cause you any physical harm. The female, meanwhile, is a legitimate and highly valuable pollinator for the local ecosystem. She is one of the very few bee species strong enough to practice a specialized technique known as buzz pollination, or sonication. The biological mechanism is incredibly precise. The carpenter bee lands on the flower and physically grips the anther cone with her mandibles. She then completely decouples her wings from her flat muscle and violently vibrates her thoracic muscles at a frequency of roughly 400 hertz. You can actually hear this as a distinct, sharp buzz that is noticeably lower than her normal flight tone. The vibration travels directly through her body and into the anther. A flower, like the tomato, features a closed poricidal tube, meaning it holds its pollen entirely inside and releases it only through a tiny pore at the tip, and only under mechanical vibration at the exact right frequency. The violent shaking knocks the pollen loose, dropping it in a cloud that coats the bee's fuzzy underside. The European honeybee, Apis mellifera, simply cannot perform this action. Her flight muscle does not decouple in this way. She can collect loose surface pollen, but she cannot open the tube. Stephen Buchman and James Hurley, 1978, first detailed the exact mechanics of this buzz pollination in tomatoes and documented exactly which bee genera possess the physical ability to perform it. This ecological interaction is the equivalent of a key that only fits one specific lock. The honey bee has the wrong key. The carpenter bee's vibrating thorax is the exact key required. Tomatoes, blueberries, eggplants, peppers, and cranberries all absolutely require or benefit significantly from this sonication process. Without native bees performing this labor for free, commercial greenhouse tomato growers are forced to use handheld vibrating wands to artificially pollinate their crops entirely by hand. The loud, buzzing male on your porch is protecting a silent, working female who is actively ensuring the survival of your garden's most demanding plants. The theater of the yellow-faced bee is designed to distract you from the vital, hidden work happening both inside the wood and across your flower beds. Understanding this dynamic completely reframes the conflict on your front porch. The presence of carpenter bees reveals exactly where your home's exterior defenses have failed. Carpenter bees specifically choose soft, unpainted, or severely weathered wood for their nests. They target exposed fascia boards, untreated deck rails, aging porch beams, and wooden patio furniture left outside year-round. Their active presence tells you immediately that some exterior wood on your property has weathered to the point where it is soft enough for a bee to physically excavate with its jaws. That exposed timber is simultaneously the root cause of the infestation and the precise map of your property's structural vulnerability. The bees are not randomly attacking your house. They are exploiting the exact locations where your paint has chipped, your stain has faded, or your sealant has completely worn away. They serve as a biological indicator of deferred maintenance, pointing directly to the boards that desperately need your attention before moisture and rot set in. When you notice a yellow-faced male patrolling a specific corner of your roof line, he is acting as a highly visible warning beacon. To solve the problem permanently, you must address the wood itself. You need to thoroughly paint or aggressively stain all exposed wooden surfaces, because carpenter bees will almost never attempt to bore into properly sealed finished wood. For the existing holes, you must never plug them while the bees are actively working inside during the spring and summer. Instead, you must wait patiently until the fall when the active season ends and the wooden galleries are completely empty. At that point, fill the holes tightly with steel wool, follow it with a high-quality wood putty, and seamlessly paint over the repaired surface. For areas that suffer from high recurring infestations, replacing the damaged softwood with a durable hardwood alternative is a much more permanent solution than endless repainting. You must never spray chemical pesticide deep into an active hole. Doing so risks trapping the female inside with her egg chambers, where the pesticide kills the larvae and leaves rotting biological material inside your walls, which subsequently attracts highly destructive wood-boring beetles. You must manage the wood, not poison the insect. The loud buzzing on your porch is not a threat, but a signal that your home needs a fresh coat of paint. You can protect your property while letting these heavy lifters of the pollinator world do their essential work. Tell me in the comments, do you have carpenter bee holes in your porch or deck? And have you already plugged them? Or are they still open?